What would happen to your body if you drank apple cider vinegar every night before bed? Some people swear it helps with digestion. Others claim it supports weight loss. And a lot of people just take it because they've heard it's good for you. But the real game changer, and the effect that most people aren't even aware of, is that it lowers your fasting blood sugar overnight. I know, it sounds almost too simple. A couple tablespoons of vinegar before bed, and your morning numbers look completely different. But the science here is legit. In case you're new here, my name's Kait. I'm a nutritionist who specializes in insulin resistance and blood sugar control. I've helped hundreds of clients reverse insulin resistance, PCOS, and type 2 diabetes naturally. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what happens to your body when you drink apple cider vinegar before bed, why it affects your fasting glucose, and how to use it in a way that's safe. All right, before we dive into what exactly vinegar does to the body, let's start by talking about why fasting blood sugar matters. Think of it like your body's report card. You wake up after not eating for 8 to 10 hours, so your blood sugar level in the morning shows how well your body is managing things behind the scenes without any food interfering. Now, here's the problem. For a lot of people, and specifically for people with insulin resistance, prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, this fasting number is often the hardest to bring down. You might eat healthy all day long, keep your carbs low, exercise, but you wake up and your glucose monitor still shows a high number, which can be extremely frustrating. Now, there are a few different reasons why fasting blood sugar can be high, even if you're eating well. One of them is the dawn phenomenon, which basically happens because overnight your liver releases glucose into your bloodstream and gives you energy for the morning. It's like your body topping off the fuel tank while you sleep. And this isn't always a bad thing. If your fasting blood sugar is only slightly high in the morning and your levels are good throughout the rest of the day, if you've tested your fasting insulin and your insulin levels are good, then I wouldn't be too concerned. But if you do have insulin resistance or diabetes, this could mean that your body can't handle that extra sugar efficiently, so it just sits in your bloodstream. And that's why you wake up with high fasting glucose. This matters because your fasting blood sugar isn't just a number on a screen. When it's constantly high, it tells you that your body is struggling to keep insulin in check. Over time, this can lead to a higher risk of inflammation, weight gain around the belly, fatigue, and of course, progression to diabetes if it's ignored. So yes, fasting glucose is one of the most important markers when it comes to our metabolic health. And that's why this vinegar hack is so interesting. Because if something as simple as a tablespoon or two before bed can help blunt that morning spike, then it's a tool worth knowing about. So here's the big question. How can something as simple as apple cider vinegar that has no calories, no sugar, have such a big impact on your fasting blood sugar? It all comes down to one active ingredient, acidic acid. Acidic acid is the main component in vinegar, and it does a few powerful things inside your body. First, it slows down the enzymes that break down starches into sugar. This means when you eat carbohydrates, your body absorbs them more gradually, instead of in one big spike. But at night when you're not eating, this mechanism is a little bit different. See, your liver is kind of like a sugar faucet. Its job is to release glucose into your bloodstream while you're sleeping, so you don't run out of energy. The problem is, if you've got insulin resistant, that faucet is basically stuck on open. Vinegar steps in and turns that faucet down. The acidic acid tells your liver to release less glucose, so you don't wake up with those frustrating high numbers. On top of that, vinegar has also been shown to improve insulin sensitivity. What that means is that your body uses the insulin you do have more efficiently. Instead of the sugar floating around in your blood, your cells are better able to pull it in and use it for energy. And this isn't just a theory. There have been several studies that show the impact of vinegar in action. In one study, people with insulin resistance took 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before bed. The next day, their fasting blood sugar levels were significantly lower compared to the nights they didn't take vinegar. And this was such a small change. They didn't take anything out of their diet, they didn't change how much they were eating, they got the same amount of sleep, but their blood sugar was lower. So let's say you take 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, dilute it in water, always make sure you dilute it, a couple of hours before bed. Over the next hour, the acidic acid is absorbed and starts circulating. By midnight, it's already signaling your liver, telling it not to dump out so much glucose tonight. Fast forward to around 3 a.m., which is when your liver normally kicks into high gear with glucose release. This is part of the dawn phenomenon that we spoke about earlier. Except tonight, that spike is much smaller. Your blood sugar stays more stable throughout the night, and by the time you wake up at 6 or 7 a.m., your fasting number is lower than it would have been without the vinegar. While you're sleeping, vinegar is basically working in the background. Now, the benefits don't just stop when you take apple cider vinegar at bedtime. It's also super powerful before meals, especially if the meal you're eating is higher in carbohydrates. If you drink diluted apple cider vinegar before you eat a meal, here's what happens to your body. First off, it slows down how quickly your stomach empties food into the small intestine. That means your body absorbs glucose more gradually, and your post-meal blood sugar spike is blunted. For example, if you have a bowl of pasta or some bread without vinegar, your blood sugar might shoot up quickly. With the vinegar beforehand, that rise is smaller and slower. And this isn't just helpful for people with diabetes or insulin resistance. This can be beneficial to anyone. If you're looking for more stable energy throughout the day, fewer energy crashes, fewer cravings, this can help you. So vinegar can work in two different ways. At night, it reduces glucose released from the liver, and before meals, it controls carb absorption. It's a simple tool that you can use at more than one time during the day. Okay, now let's talk safety because this is obviously important. Like I've said a few times today, the sweet spot is 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in water at a time. If you drink it straight, it can damage the enamel on your teeth and irritate your throat, but you don't run this risk if you dilute it in water. Now, a lot of people also worry about whether apple cider vinegar in general, is dangerous. Every now and then you'll see some flashy headline and it will raise some red flags. The truth is, unless you're drinking over a cup a day, over months, over years, it's not going to be harmful. And this amount is way more than anyone would need. Now, if you're on any diabetes medication or insulin, please make sure to check with your doctor first. Because vinegar is so powerful, if you're already on any medication that's already lowering or controlling your blood sugar, it might cause your blood sugar to drop too low. But for the vast majority of people, 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time is safe and effective. Okay, now before we wrap up, let's clear up a few other myths. Myth number 1 is that apple cider vinegar burns fat while you sleep. And no, unfortunately, it doesn't directly do this. What it does is stabilize blood sugar, which over time can help reduce cravings and make fat loss easier. But it's not a magic fat loss potion. Myth number 2 is that you need huge amounts in order for it to work. But again, like we've spoken about today, studies show that just 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time can have a meaningful effect. And myth number 3 is that it has to be apple cider vinegar specifically, which isn't true. Any vinegar can work, but apple cider vinegar is most often talked about because it tends to taste a little bit better than some other types of vinegar. All right, we've covered a lot in today's video, so let's quickly recap some of the key points so you don't forget anything. Apple cider vinegar works because the acidic acid helps to reduce glucose release from the liver and improves insulin sensitivity. At night, it keeps your fasting blood sugar lower, and before meals, it slows carb absorption and prevents big spikes. A safe dose is 1 to 2 tablespoons diluted in water. It's not dangerous unless you go overboard, which you don't need to do. Small amounts are more than enough. And while it's not a fat-burning miracle, it's a powerful tool to help stabilize blood sugar and support long-term health. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Have you tried taking apple cider vinegar before bed? Have you measured your fasting blood sugar in the morning, and did you notice any difference? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you did enjoy this video, you might also enjoy my video on foods that have been proven to lower your blood sugar. So I'll link that on the screen and you can check it out next. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.